Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and stay tuned by clicking the bell icon. GT star reveals how a rescue cat saved his life in a miraculous twist of fate. America's Got Talent star Colin Cloud wowed television viewers with his razor-sharp intellect reading minds in 2017. And now, the Scottish mentalist is entertaining audiences with his own Las Vegas casino residency. But it's not been an easy journey for the entertainer, who started out doing small stand-up sessions in Glasgow. Colin spoke exclusively to the Mirror US about his staggering journey from being a terrified kid fascinated with magic to strip superstar. And for the first time, the 37-year-old former motivational consultant reveals how just 2 years ago, personal trauma meant his dream and life almost ended. Mentally overwhelmed by a marriage split, the loss of his magic mentor and beloved granddad in business woes, Colin was seconds from taking his own life. It was only thanks to another troubled being, an unfriendly rescue cat Milo, through some cosmic intervention demanding love and attention, which shook Colin from his near-deadly depression. Speaking from his Harrah's casino stage, Colin said, "It has been a wild journey. It is mad. I'm from the middle of nowhere in Scotland, so to come from there to here is pretty crazy. It doesn't quite feel real." Being referred to as the real-life Sherlock Holmes is phenomenal and a culmination of hard work, effort, energy. The AGT semi-final success meant that Colin enjoyed flashes in the limelight, but he laughs at some who have labeled him an overnight success in Las Vegas. While Harrah executives headhunted him for the significant gig, the journey began at the age of 8, inspired by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock books. "I really was a shy, reserved, quiet kid. I thought Sherlock was real. Then I got really into science. So I had chemistry sets, and forensic science was the closest reality to Sherlock, really. And then I grew up watching CSI Vegas." He joked. "Watching that show would have made me never want to come here given the amount of murder that took place, and yet here I am." His eureka moment came when grandparents George and Sheila Core McCulloch introduced him to magic tricks. One key memory was George asking him to mentally focus on a card, hidden in another room, in a deck, only for Colin to run out, collect the pack, and see his pick turned upside down. Of course, it was my gran doing the turning, but the way he reacted and acted stunned, it made me feel amazing and astonishing. It had an underlying impact on me wanting to make my work a joyful multi-person experience. Academically gifted Colin went to Glasgow University aged 16, soon becoming fascinated by stand-up comedy. He was headhunted by a motivational speaker firm after university, where he flourished but continued to do comedy and employ his mind magic at clubs. Colin was set for life as a globe-trotting motivational speaker, but bravely gave it up to gamble on his dreams. "I told audiences if they didn't enjoy their job, leave and go find the thing that did leave them fulfilled. That's not easy, but it will absolutely be worth it. I'd be a hypocrite not to follow my advice." Within a year, he was signed as a lead member of Conjurer's act The Illusionists, playing at shows worldwide, while often fine-tuning his stand-up skills at host cities. He caught the eyes of AGT bosses, which led Simon Cowell to take a shine to him during his run to the 2017 semifinals. "I felt Simon would be this complete alien because he was portrayed as a diva. But he was so real, normal, and nice, taking genuine interest in my life and career. That was special, and his words meant so much to me and others on the show." Soon after, Colin was poached by the Mirage Vegas as AGT winner Shin Lim's support. But as his life seemed at an all-time high, COVID closed both the Strip and the borders back to Scotland in 2020. Then, with live work looking bleak, he lost beloved grandfather George and split with his wife after less than 2 years in 2022. It all happened at once. COVID closing everything, my grandparent dying and being unable to be there, going through a divorce, and just a lot of issues with the business side of stuff. It was a lot. Despite his master intellect and self-confident nature, unknowingly his mental strength buckled, leading him to depression. Part of it was the arrogance of after years of being in the world of mindset, motivation, feeling like none of this will ever affect me. There was arrogance of I know this stuff and emotional intelligence. But I felt blindsided as it had been building up and building up. But knowing it and living it are two different things. I shocked myself. At his lowest point, Colin's out-of-control negative thoughts led him to consider hanging himself at his Vegas home. Seconds from making a fatal move, Colin experienced his new 6-year-old rescue cat Milo change his life. I was in my office about to take my own life. I just adopted Milo, who was vicious and never came near me as he'd been abandoned. I remember standing on the step, and this cat was rubbing himself on me. It took me back to seeing him first in a cage and thinking, you got abandoned before for 6 months. And he was probably ing hungry and just wanted food. But in my mind, I felt really guilty of I'm about to abandon you again. I thought my parents are also going to be too. And then all these things came flooding in and I was like, holy sh. If that cat hadn't triggered that train of thought at that moment, I doubt I'd be here. It's unbelievable and amazing that of all moments for that cat to decide to come against me as I tried to take my own life. He added, the reality is not everyone is as lucky to have something snap them out of that moment. So it's why it is so important people talk about it and get help. Colin was able to bounce back in a huge way, gaining as many positive reactions as headliner Shin Lim at his Mirage Resort residency Limitless. However, when that legendary strip spot closed its doors, Harrah's Chiefs seized their chance to make Colin one of their leading attractions. After you hit rock bottom, everything starts to become a blessing, and you start prioritizing your happiness again. I learned to be incredibly grateful for moments, the big and little ones, time with people, and being in places that are meaningful to me. I really threw myself into work and had a newfound awareness for the preciousness of time, made me value the audiences even more. I wanted to ensure that every moment they spent with me was designed to leave them elated and uplifted. It was always a risk going out on my own, but with my track record of shows in Edinburgh, I had nothing but belief in myself that it was going to work. I'd already done all the hard work after years of tinkering and perfecting my craft. The irony is, I don't gamble, but felt why not go all in on the one thing I hoped would be a safe bet, myself. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and share.